Your electricity bill could jump 40 to 60% in the next few years. Why? Because environmental regulations will make coal-fired plants, which produce about half the nation's energy, way more expensive. Hey, it's not like President Obama didn't warn us. He told us it was going to happen. Take a listen.
Under my plan of a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Coal-powered plants, natural gas, you name it, whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers.
Please welcome my next guest, John Mavretich from the Institute for Energy Research. John, boy, what a great deal. It's going to necessarily skyrocket our bills, cost more, retrofit. I don't know. What's he thinking?
I mean, I'm just really glad that you played that clip, because it's important to remember that President Obama at this point is just following through on promises that he made to his donors. He said that he was going to make prices necessarily skyrocket. When he couldn't shepherd the cap-and-trade scheme through Congress, he came out in a press conference the next day, and I'm sorry, not the next day, but he came out and said, this was just one way to skin the cat. There are other means to this end. And what is the end? It's been the same since the day one, which has been to make energy more expensive and force Americans to use less of it.
All right, hang in there. Joey, what about it? Here's the guy who told us it was coming, and guess what? Higher bills are on their way.
Listen to me. Why do all Republicans...
But in the name of the environment. Remember, that's because he wants to close down coal-fired plants that produce carbon emissions.
No, what he wants to do is to get us off of foreign oil, get us less dependent and everything else. All right, hold on. Let's focus on this particular issue. Why do we have a problem with regulation? When we didn't regulate the financial industry, right, we had this economy that went to shambles. We're regulating this. Why? We're regulating it to protect our environment. We're regulating it to ensure safety. What is the problem with that? You said at the beginning of the segment that it could go up. It's not necessarily that it will. Right?
No, but Obama said.
But it may.
Obama said necessarily will skyrocket. Chris Plant, I see you throwing your arms up in the air. They're on their way. We saw it coming. We knew it. Why do we like this guy? Why do we reelect the guy?
This is one promise, I guess, that the president will make good on, to drive energy prices through the roof. His energy secretary, Stephen Chu, also said he wanted to get gasoline prices to European levels of about $9 a gallon. All of these efforts are designed, in effect, to destroy the American economy and our economic power around the world. Save the environment from the invisible man in the sky, from the secular apocalypse that they've conjured up so they can change everything. Hope and change. This is about the liberal agenda. This is about advancing the left-wing agenda, and we will all pay the price for it. And you can't say, oh, well, we'll wait and see whether they're going to skyrocket or not.
Joey, let me tell you something. Wait, forget about that Bentley stuff. Joey, your president is making me get rid of my incandescent light bulbs. I got to use those toxic waste light bulbs now. If they fall, you need a friggin' hazmat suit to get out of here. And you know what? Because Jeff Ilmelty there, GE make good things to life. He ain't no Jack Welch, this Elmelt.
This president is focused on ensuring that we live and breathe fresh air, that our children live and breathe fresh air. It's 40. You want us to grow 3 and 4 legs?
You're living in. I'm breathing the same air you're breathing. I'm drinking the same water you're. And to think that I want to poison my environment is completely ridiculous. And it's much better because of Obama. Thank you. What I don't want to do is poison the economic environment any more than the left has already poisoned it.
There has to be a balance.
Hold on. Let me get John in here. John, what about it? Does Stephen Chu have an idea? Let's drive prices of gasoline up to $8, $9, and $10 a gallon to make sure we get off gasoline?
Of course he does. It's a philosophy of Americans need to use less, and somehow we're going to dig ourselves out of this economic ditch without using more energy, which completely is contrary to all of the history of all economic recessions. Now, just to the point of regulations, I think I'll one-up everyone. I live across the street from a coal-fired power plant, and I wasn't wheeled in here on a stretcher or anything, okay? The coal-fired power plants are cleaner now than they have ever been. Power from these plants have increased by 180% since the 80s, and particulate pollutants have dropped more than 50%.
And that's because there are regulations, though, right? It's not a plant that just operates on its own without any oversight whatsoever. We just concern ourselves with profit, and we don't concern at all with how we're doing health and safety-wise, right?
So would you say that it's false, of course.
You want the government to tell
you a false argument. And
Would
no
it be
one
reason-
believes that. You don't even believe that. Listen, the left won't let you build a nuclear power plant. They won't let you build a coal-fired power plant. They won't let you build a dam. And they've got us tilting at Dutch windmills like this is going to solve all our problems for us.
Joey,
this
aren't
is
you tired?
laughable on the face of it.
Joey, aren't you tired of being an American democracy? Having your government telling you what to do, where to go, what your kids eat, what light bulbs you put in your friggin' lamps. Joey,
the answer is
America.
I feel better, I feel safer because our food is inspected, our energy is clean, our water is fresh. It's all good.
Spoken like a wealthy attorney.
It is now.
Americans have a tough time
been
putting
for
gas
a
up
century.
in the car, in the SUV. We're going to have to leave it there, guys. Thank you to John Mavretich for joining us. Up next, how old will the average American